Hey, ladies, how are you? Oh, yeah, I just got out of the shower. So, good evening. Good evening. As soon as it dries, I will brush it out. Oh, we get 6 people here. Woohoo! In the first 15 seconds. Oh, you guys. Hello, happy Monday. For those of you new to my channel, hey, Matt and Sarah and the whole family, hello. Oh, Sarah. Okay. You're saying hello to all of us here. Thank you. It is getting warm enough where I'm going to need to put the air conditioner in pretty soon. Well, this week, later towards the end of the week, is supposed to be in the low 80s and rainy and humid. And at night, it's only going to be like the mid 60s. And so the house is going to stay nice and hot and humid. So, Alicia, hello. Julie, hi. Sarah, Ms. T from Rainy, Nebraska, hello. Grammy Karen, hi. Glenn, hello to you. Gil. Oh, I hear you. I'm working on editing stuff that I filmed in November, October, November. So you guys, oh, you're so good too. That's why I keep going live, because it's like my editing is just like so far behind. Yeah, Alicia, exactly. So they may get 18 inches of rain so far. You know, I was watching a weather report this morning. They were saying that Louisiana and East Texas, Louisiana, that area could get 2 feet of rain. My goodness. You know, I lived there for 13 years and I never saw that much rain. And through a couple hurricanes and everything. And it's like, whew, that is a lot. That is a lot. So, but we're supposed to get like 5 or 6 days of rain, which is good. We need it. We're pretty dry. But, oh, that is cute, Connie. Our tiny acres. That's very, very cute. It's going to take me a while to remember who you are then. So, but that's awesome. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Well, I've got to tell you guys, I've got all of my raised bed wood out of my house, and it is all assembled. It's all together. And that's why I was just out of the shower here. I was just finished. Well, I caulked this afternoon because I caulk all the seams and everything. And then I used linseed oil and just oiled the whole inside down, because that's the side that I had burned, the Shugibon method. So I burned that, and so I'm doing a layer of linseed oil over that. And I've got all the beds done. They're sitting on top of the old ones right now. So the next step of work is disassembling the old beds and then putting the new ones in their place. So that's going to be a huge amount of work too. But it feels so good to have the beds done. Yeah, they're Connie, they're just replacing my old ones. So, but they're just new because my old ones were just rotting and falling apart. So I had to, thanks, Sarah. I had to, well, let me see if I can give you guys a quick little view here without disconnecting everything. I'll show you outside my window. Going on a road trip. Road trip. Woo, don't get dizzy. So there they are. They're all put together. And oops, you can see that there's 7 new beds. There's just sitting on top of the old ones. And so, but I needed to get them done to that point before it started raining. So thank you. I know they're such great wood, and the color, and it's like I can't wait now to get stuff growing in them. So it's been kind of sorry, I'm just still, my glasses are sliding on me. yeah, it's been hard to get excited, I guess you could say, about growing this year, just because I had this huge project to get done. And see, all that was supposed to get done last summer and fall. And so that my plan was last summer was to, as one bed finished growing, like the bean bed was done, I was going to go in and replace that one. But I didn't get done burning and oiling it down until, my goodness, it was beginning of September, I think. And then everything was going on with my mom and everything. And so, and I lost the window of weather that I needed. So we've just had, I don't know, Sarah, what has it been, like a week to 10 days of just beautiful, sunny, dry. No, we did have a few rain showers last week, but between like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and today, it's been totally dry and warm and sunny and low humidity. And that's exactly what I needed to be able to get this done. So, thanks you guys so much. You think the teacups at the carnival, right? Woo. Oh, getting starting to rot. Are you talking about, Connie? Sorry, got a little bit behind it. Thanks, Julie. Thanks, Karen. Thank you, Miss T. Yes. Tonight through Friday. Okay, yeah. Our rain was supposed to come in tomorrow, but now they're saying Wednesday. But they go back and forth between 5 and 6 days worth straight. So I know, Sarah, exactly right. So yeah, Connie, it's, and I had gotten all of this wood a year ago. It was last May, and I got 2 by 8 by 8 foot lengths, and I had it all figured out, to cut them and different things to get them to maximize my boards. And I think the boards they're somewhere around $8 for an 8 foot, a 2 by 8 by 8 at that point in time in May. And so I got a good bit of them at that point. The last boards I got, because it was so expensive to do all of them at once, but the very last few that I picked up were in the beginning of July, I think, and prices were already starting to go up. And I think it was $11 a board that I paid for the very last one. I have no idea what they're at this point. I got, there's some yellow pine and then hemp fir. So, and it's not your like construction grade, it's the step up from that, kind of a quality grade, I guess you could say, but it's not like the best ones out there. So, I mean, they're just holding dirt. I just want to make, yes, Miss T. Oh, thanks, Alicia. Yeah, I'm so glad that I got it when I did. And so, yeah, last summer I was getting them all cut and sanded, and then it took me a long time to burn them all. I had to burn one whole side of each of them, and I had 56 2 by 8 boards that I had to burn. And so that took a while, and then oiling them all down and getting all that done. And my yard, it looked like a board graveyard for a long time. That was pretty funny. But nobody stole anything, thank goodness. And got them all done. And then at that point, once they were dry, everything, I just brought them inside, stacked them. I had them in 3 different stacks. I had a stack in the kitchen, one in the dining room, one in the living room. And then this winter, when I redid the dining room and living room, I moved the dining room stack into the living room. So I had both of them in there, but there is no stack of wood there anymore. No more wood. Oh, I know the prices are terrible. And if I had to do it now, I wouldn't be able to. I'd probably be looking at some other kind of material. I don't know. Or just doing in ground, I guess. I don't know, but it's, or just taking a year and buying one board at a time. sometimes you have to do that. If you know it's a project that has to be done in another year or two, like Connie, you said you're starting to see some rot in there, and you're going, next summer we're going to need to replace these, or next spring or something. Just think about going and getting like 1 or 2 boards at a time and just storing them. If you have a garage, so I don't have a garage or a shed or anything. That's why I had to store them in the house. But so is the, I don't know if the chat is stuck or not, but oh, there you are. Okay. Hey, Teresa, how are you? Hello. But yeah, because I don't have any place to store, my house becomes project central. So I'm trying to get to the point of not having all of these projects. So, and that's one of the reasons, hey, Christy, in redoing the beds, one of the reasons I'm taking so much time in trying to put some preservation to them, the oil and the burning and all the kind of stuff, so that I can get more years out of it. So I'm hoping this will add maybe 3 to 4 years on it. I got 7 years off of my last beds. So I'm hoping that I can get at least 10 years, 10, maybe 12 years off of this. So, right, Karen, it's not a good channel name, Our Tiny Acres, because you guys are in town. So I love it. I love it. I haven't talked about that yet, Teresa. So you're good. You're good. And you guys, there is a spelling out there with the SC, but everybody knows it by SK. But I thought that would maybe flag YouTube stuff, and so I went with the lesser known spelling on that. So, hey, Brenda, how are you doing? No, you didn't miss it yet. So just kind of doing our greetings and our general stuff. Ramblin' Rose Homestead, hello. So yeah, we've just had some beautiful warm, dry weather to be able to get this done, which is really unusual for May. April to May, we've had very, very dry weather, but I know it's going to be changing here real soon. Let me see. Oh, I wanted to show you. Remember last week we talked about Lobialia, and I went and got some plants for a little hanging planter at my front door. And it was like, oh, these are just cute little, ones with the purple thingies, and they'll kind of grow and drape and everything. I looked at the tag, it's Lobialia. So here, you guys, that's Lobialia. That's what it looks like. I wasn't able to show you a picture last week. So you can see the purple flowers and the leaves, but this is a medicinal plant. Now, because I got it from Menards, got it at Menards, the greenhouse, they spray their stuff. So I wouldn't want to take this and dry it for medicinal things. So let it grow, start clipping back stuff, get all new growth, and then you can start using it if you have to buy it in that way and you're not growing it. Cherokee medicine woman recommended SCULLCAP to me. Awesome. Yes, it's huge among in the history of the Native Americans. So that was almost like their number one medicinal that they had. So that hanging planter that I was telling you about, doing this, I put up a couple other brackets to be able to hang a couple more at my front door. I've got like posts and then a little dormer overhang there. Well, I was putting the last one in the screw, and I was using my drill with the screw bit, and of course I was reaching up really high trying to get it in, and I'm holding it, and it slipped. And Julie, it's like filling in like crazy, but I put a huge hole in the side of my finger, and it told you it bled like crazy. I think a couple of you were on another live that night. Was it Friday night? Yeah, it was Friday night. And but I have been putting aloe on it. So this is only 3 days. I mean, it was a crater. It was a hole in there. I've been putting aloe on it and my calendula moringa salve, and it is like, I mean, it's like all filled in. There's still not like skin over it, but it's all protected, and I mean, it's doing really, really, really well. So, but yeah, bled like crazy. So anyway, here's my aloe. I have two huge aloe plants there, and I'm certainly hoping that I don't have to use all of those, because one little piece like this will take care of it. Yes, it is healing very, very nicely. So for anybody who's never used aloe before, and I'm just getting the very tail end of it, just put some of the gooey stuff on there. And there we go. I'll just let this dry for a little bit before I try to do the Band-Aid. Barefoot Adventures, hello, how are you? Welcome, welcome. So, I don't see Kiri on here. But last week we were talking about drying different herbs, and what is better to air dry or to different things, and there's benefits to each. But you know what, barefoot, yes, I have kept aloe around for several decades, and I tell you what, I mean, it can be just growing and growing, and I don't use it for 2 or 3 years, but all of a sudden it's like I need it, and it's there. It is very useful. I was actually checking into it to see how I could, take some of the bigger stems, because they're starting to get pretty big. To open them up and save the gel and actually dehydrate it, and then be able to have it in a powdered form, and then just add a little water to it, and then have a good gel and use it when I need it. Instead of, if I can't have the plants, or if you want to take a little bit with you, like a small container when you're camping, or in your bug out bag or whatever, that type of thing. But it's it's amazing. So that's something I'm going to try to work on. Not right now, but it's on my list of things to do. But yes, aloe is wonderful. Okay, Ms. T, thank you. That's a very good point. I've got my homemade calendula and moringa, which is really, really good. Super good healing stuff. I'm almost out. I need to make another batch, but you guys know I made some more calendula oil. So, hey Parker, how are you doing? Virginia, hello. But we were talking about drying herbs, and Kiri was, because she's in Texas, in the like desert, hot, dry part of Texas, and so she's like, was telling us about how a master herbalist that she knows says, air drying preserves everything the best. Well, maybe in their climate it does, and I think it really depends on what climate you're in. If you're in Mississippi or Louisiana or Tennessee, where it's very, very humid, even Florida too, but where that humidity is really high, if you're trying to, if you have herbs and you've bundled a few, you're hang drying them and stuff, they can mold very, very easily, and that mold gets into your medicinals, which isn't good for you. If you're trying to make a tea out of it, you're drinking mold. If you're trying to make a tincture or different things like that, it will ruin whatever batch of medicinal you have. So hi Mom. That's cute. Um, so anyway, like I said, it really depends on your climate. Here, where it's really, really dry days is like 25 to 30% humidity, which I would still, kind of, that would be kind of borderline for me. But during the summer, generally our humidity is anywhere between 50 and 80%, somewhere in there. And if we're trying to dry when it's that high of humidity, you're going to end up having, if you're just hanging it, you're going to end up having some problems. So just keep that in consideration, because you do have to harvest when they're ready, harvesting when it's 95 degrees outside and 80% humidity, and stuff like that. So that's where a dehydrator comes in very, very handy. And, there's still a lot of really good value that's retained when you're using dehydrator to dry your herbs. The other thing with air drying herbs is that you have to treat them. And they didn't really, there was a whole nother article in there about how to treat things. So I think it has to do with, just washing them and do some other stuff to them. But anyway, you have to treat them in order to destroy any bugs or eggs that are on there. Because if you just hang dry them, there can be, eggs from aphids or whatever bugs that were on there. And so that again will ruin your medicinal. So you want to make sure that that you either treat them or else just put them in a dehydrator. But you do want to have it low. A dehydrator should be 95 degrees to 110. So right in that range. You can use the oven if it can get that low, but generally, most people's ovens will only go down to about 170 or so. So what you could do is just turn the light on in there, and the warmth from the light can dry everything in an oven too. So, okay. Okay, well, Virginia, that probably would work too. Here, where we are, or where I am anyway, even with the air conditioner running, it's still high humidity. I mean, we're still talking a minimum of probably 50% humidity. So it's, Lori, hello. Oh, that's wonderful. Thanks for coming in. So anyway, I have a few, and I meant to put them in beforehand, but I have some websites here that can help you decide, what's best for you for dehydrating and stuff like that. So we have the extension at PSU, Pittsburgh, I think, or Philadelphia. It might have been Philadelphia State University. Then the NCHFP. I know was the National Center for Home Preservation or something, Home Food Preservation. And then we have the University of Minnesota Extension Office too. So those I will add later. So yeah, that's a good idea, Teresa. It's just like, and then if it's like, oh, why isn't it drying faster? It's like, well, it's a little low. But yeah, rather than doing it high. So so good to see all of you guys. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much. So SCULLCAP, I do have the seeds for it. There are no pictures on it, but to me it looks a little bit like sage. The kind of the leaves, they're kind of a spear type of leaf, and just how they're going up the stalks. They have purple flowers. They grow anywhere from 1 to 3 feet tall. So So anyway, it kind of looks a little bit like that. It doesn't have like the bumpy fuzzy leaf that sage does. It's just a regular green leaf in there. Magritte, how are you? You can hang it over the fire. That's a good thing too. Yes. Here in Minnesota in the summer, when I have to harvest it, we don't want to build a fire. So, again, just whatever works best for your things. So, so SCULLCAP. And again, for those who just come in, the typical name or the common name is SKULL. I didn't want to put that in there in case I would get flagged by the powers that be. So it can be spelled SCULL for the SCULLCAP. So the Latin name for it is Scutellaria. Scutellaria, I guess it is. Anyway, it has a square stem, so class. What is the family that it comes from if it has a square stem? Anyway, the name is derived from the Latin word scutella. Sounds like Nutella, doesn't it? But scutella, which means little dish, because the little small flowers have a dish or a helmet-like shape. So there you go, Sarah. Yay. Mint, you guys, you were doing awesome. Classes in. You guys are doing great. Yep, Mint family. So it says SCULLCAP is not to be confused with death caps, which are highly poisonous mushroom. So if somebody's like, oh, let's get, we want to forage for, oh, Sarah, this is great. It's like, okay, is everybody got their notebooks ready? Oh, you guys are funny. I love it. So SCULLCAP can be found in North America's wet habitats. It is native to North America. Yep, Mint. Very good. There's some other names for SCULLCAP, including Mad Dog and Blue SCULLCAP. Both of them describe a hardy, moderate-sized plant with blue or purple flowers from the leaf bases on the main stem. So some species use the name that have similar properties, but the blue SCULLCAP is deemed the best as it has the widest range of uses and powerful chemical compounds. So if you're trying to figure out what SCULLCAP, if there are different varieties or something, the blue SCULLCAP is really the best one to use. I know, Christy, right? I don't know enough about mushrooms to be safe out there. I was right along my my neighboring border here a couple years ago. There's a puffball mushroom that was growing, and I was just like, it was literally the size of like a soccer ball, and it was just like pure white. And I was looking at it, I was like, I don't know, if it's edible or not. By the time I got the information from somebody who knew, it was already deteriorating. But that thing, I could have taken it and cut it into like steaks, and actually sauteed up like this steak of mushroom, and it would have been like, wow. That would have been so cool. And they said it's really, really good. So if I see one growing again, you just have to be careful if it's an area where people are spraying or anything like that. So the SCULLCAPs, you can use the roots and the leaves. They've been used in traditional Chinese and Native American medicine to treat a whole bunch of different ailments. You can actually find it in a supplement nowadays, like in a pill or something like that. And so, I mean, it's not just like kind of one of those, far off type of herbs that can be, Somebody might go, oh, well, yeah, kind of do that, but it's widely used, very, very widely used and commercially produced. So anyway, there's a lot of different varieties, but the American and the Chinese varieties are the most common. So it's a perennial herb, again, native to North America. The plant is covered in tiny tubular blue flowers. I mean, you can get different colored flowers, but they're usually blue ones. So, okay, the benefits for SCULLCAP. It can help boost your mood and reduce anxiety. So you can make a tea out of it, which is really, really helpful. You can make a tea, a tincture. You can dry them, put them into capsules, that type of thing. So, but teas and tinctures are probably the most common. It actually can help reduce pain. So this was like I said, the most widely used one by the Native Americans. So think of all of these different things that they relied that they relied on for their own health and for their communities. So it reduces pain. It soothes the nervous system. It can be a sedative. If you take it in a large amount or something. It helps to treat convulsions. Hey, Patty. Oh, thanks for coming in. It removes toxins. So if you make a tea and have a couple cups of tea a week or something like that, that'll help really detoxify your system. It helps insomnia. So we have chamomile for insomnia. There's a couple others, but SCULLCAP can do this too. It can help manage diabetes. Helps with your heart health. Says it even helps with weight loss. I need to check into that more. Hey, Eliza, how are you doing? It has antibacterial and antiviral effects. And that would be the variety that's the Latin name is Scutellaria barbata. You think of Barbados or what's the captain in Pirates of the Caribbean? Oh, yes, Eliza, I'm definitely enjoying this weather too. So so it says this extract, the extract of SCULLCAP shows better antibacterial effects than colistin, which is a common antibiotic. So a regular medicinal antibiotic that you get, this one actually works better than that. So it was like, whoo, Johnny Depp, Barbados. Barbados is the islands, but the captain, Barbosa. There's Captain Barbosa. So Captain Jack Sparrow, yeah, Barbosa. This is Barbata, is the variety. Yep, anxiety, absolutely. It's an anti-inflammatory. It also contains anti-cancer compounds. So again, can boost your mood, reduce anxiety, reduces pain, soothes your nervous system, can be a sedative, treats convulsions, removes toxins, helps insomnia, manages diabetes. It's good for heart health, for weight loss. It is antibacterial, antiviral, which is really, really good to know because we don't have really any antiviral medicine that's out there. The doctors are just like, well, you have a virus, you're just going to have to, you're just going to have to sweat it out. It's basically, it's like, oh, if it's a bacterial infection, we can give you an antibiotic for that. But if it's a virus, you're just going to have to ride it out. And it's like, here we've got we've got all of this. I mean, this is not the first one we've come across as antivirals, so I think that would be great. So, yes, it pairs. There you go, Julie. Yes, it pairs great with lemon balm for a tea. Absolutely. So you can have that extra good flavor in there, as well as the benefits. So antibacterial, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, and anti-cancer compounds in there. So now we mentioned that there is a Chinese variety and American variety. So I've been kind of giving you everything for the American variety, which is mostly what we would be growing here. The Chinese variety, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce this. So it's in one of the links that you could read it, read about it, but they use the roots for it, and it also becomes, or they also call it, I should say, instead of skullcap, they call it Huang Qin. Huang Qin, I think it is how they would say it. So it's a traditional Chinese medicine. It treats diarrhea, insomnia, dysentery, high blood pressure, hemorrhaging, respiratory infections, and inflammation, fevers, gastrointestinal issues, and liver disease. So, Patty, hello. How are you? So both the American and the Chinese skullcap are available as supplements in health food stores or online. You can actually get it if it's something you don't want to grow or don't have room to grow or not able to. Think about at least having maybe some supplements on hand for this kind of stuff. It's sold in capsules, powders, and liquid extracts. So, but for homegrown stuff, you can definitely make it in, you have a powder, you can encapsulate your own. You can make it as a tincture, like I said, or the leaves, for the tea. So yeah, the leaves are what you would use to dry to brew a tea with that. So, wait. No, Julie, it's not that one. Let me type it out here. There, that's the one. Okay. So the Chinese one also has some effects against neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. So can help to safeguard against that. Doesn't say anything about once you have that disease, what the effect is, but it can actually kind of help to safeguard against that. Says the weight loss, excuse me, the weight loss part of it appears that the reduction, it reduces the triglycerides that are stimulated by this herb, and it helps with weight loss when combined with a proper diet. So they are continuing to research that more, but that could be a nice natural way to be able to do it if you need some help with that. When it gets to the cancer and stuff, so I know, Teresa, I hear you. It's like okay, only buy the $25 one instead of the $50 one or something. But then, yeah, you end up losing a lot of stuff. I had encapsulated a bunch of like moringa powder. I was taking that, and I just end up running out of time to be able to do that kind of thing. It's like I just don't have. I have to pick and choose the things that I do here. So. Yeah, Christy, that's the other thing that I was going to get to is that Again, check with your doctor or a naturopath or something, because it can counteract, different medications that you'd be on, and that type of thing, especially like blood thinners, cholesterol lowering medications, painkillers, that kind of stuff like that. It will interact with that. So this is with lung complications and other types, including American brains. Yeah, it can if you're really super sensitive to it, or if people take too much. And so again, the dosage, like the tea, you just do a little bit of the herb, and you can take your tea 3 times a day. The tincture, just a little bit of it in there a couple times a day, that type of thing. And not for a long length of time, for like a couple weeks, and that would be it. So it says just avoid the excess intake of it. So it says it can cause giddiness, nausea, and lightheadedness, as well as some other complications. So, but, and that's where, I think if you're on a lot of medications, but that's where I would just, you really check in with a naturopath, or if you have a doctor who's very, very versed on all the natural things that are there and the interactions, or if you have a pharmacist, who, don't discount them. I mean, you don't have to be going to a doctor. Just ask a pharmacist and say, I'm on these 3 medications or whatever it is. And it's like, I would like to try to start taking this natural supplement. Will that counteract any of these? And they should know even more so than even your doctor. And so that's true, Julius. Like, yeah, being giddy and throwing up. So, oh, yeah. So, yeah, everything's got side effects. I mean, vitamin C has side effects if you take too much, and there's a lot of things that have side effects. So, the growing part of this, if you want to grow your own, it grows well in zones 4 through 8. It can go to 9, but they say generally 4 to 8. It grows from a height between 8 inches and 24 inches. And again, bright blue flowers. The flower resembles a little cap. It prefers partial shade to full sun. It says water moderately, but make sure the soil is well drained. And it prefers fertile soil. It will germinate at a high rate naturally, and it does better with a short stratification beforehand. So being cold stratified for like 1 week or something in the refrigerator. Then you can just start by lightly tamping the seeds into the soil or in flats. It says you could transplant then outdoors when the first true leaves are developed. So, but because it is a perennial, so it will self-germinate and self-seed and continue producing in that way. So let me see. I think that was it. It doesn't say anything about fertilizing, but that would be kind of, the same as it with any of your herbs. Just make sure you don't spray fertilizer right on your herbs, unless just use a dish soap vinegar type of, mix or concoction if you want to spray them or something. But then when you go to harvest your herbs and bring them in, make sure you wash them and rinse them off really well, so that so you get just the plain pure herbs. So it says a tincture with skullcap and valerian root. We did valerian a couple months ago or something. Those are really calming herbs. So if you want to make a tea with a variety of different things together, that'd be kind of nice. Just have a nice little cup of tea with a few things in there. And again, you don't want to use, 4 tablespoons worth of leaves in a cup of tea. Just use like a teaspoon in a ball or something like that, or half a teaspoon in a cup. Just start really with just a little bit and see if you're reacting or anything like that. So anyway, all right, class, we're done with SCULLCAP. So yeah, I thought that was going to be pretty interesting. So I do have the seeds that I'm going to oh, my hair is still wet. Oh, sorry guys, that was kind of like unkempt here, but literally just running in from outside here. The Cherokee medicine woman you mentioned will not treat someone who's not food. Well, good for her, because can easily interact there. Doctors most often don't know, but pharmacists might. Oh, okay. That's a good thing to know there, Patty, too. Yeah, naturopath is still a better option. So, I don't know, the process of going through one. I don't necessarily have a naturopath myself. I know several people who are kind of in that field, but haven't needed to go that way myself. But yeah, I don't know. I sometimes think that the medical field, though, too, has I don't know, it's almost like they put such an overcaution or fear into us about this is the only thing you could take that's going to help you, and don't get off of this because this is going to be bad for you, or you need to take this SHOT, or you're something bad's going to happen, everything else. So that's a great idea, Patty. That's great. Yeah, so Teresa, maybe you're going to end up being the one. If there's nobody else around and you have an interest in it, you start learning about all your things. You're doing a great job at that. And, the thing is to keep really good records of it, to keep, for myself right now, because I've been teaching you guys all this, I have all of this information in Word docs on my computer. So I have that information there for me. I just need to put it into a format that I can easily grab it if I need to. That's very true, Patty. Absolutely. So, all right, my garden tip for tonight is, okay, back to slugs. If you have a problem with slugs, and I noticed this, they had increased because, I told you my beds are rotting and I'm replacing them and everything. The last couple of years, as the wood for my bed started rotting and getting worse and holding more moisture because it was rotting, and it was like a perfect environment for slugs. It's what they loved. So that's awesome, Christy. That's so great. So really they like a moist, kind of dark, hidden environment, especially to do with like wood or under containers, different things like that. So if you have rotten wood laying around or whatever, try to get rid of it. Like my beds, I've got to get rid of these because they're rotting. Well, they're falling apart and not holding the dirt in anymore, but the slugs really, really like them. So I'm hoping that with my new beds, they're not going to be as much of a problem. other than using like the beer thing and Sluggo and some of the other things, another way you can draw them away from your garden is to have, like at the edge of the woods or another part of the yard or whatever, have some more rotted boards that you keep there and stacked and keep them moist. So you kind of like enticing them away from your garden. And so if you go out first thing in the morning, that's when they're all going to be there, because they like find that, and that's where they're going to be at night. So I know, Connie, right? Right. Beer and Sluggo both all over the place. You love salt. Yes. The salt is good too to put down there. You put out ice cream bucket lids with the Lobialia kills. Oh, that's good, Miss T. Yeah, I've done the beer. Actually, I like had beer cans that I kind of sunk into the dirt, but only found a few of those found that. So I think the ice cream lid is a really good solution there too. So anyway, I wanted to try to go more into the wood area of it. So if you have rotten wood, try to get rid of it. Another place that they really liked were 2 years ago, I did a lot of container gardening. So I wanted to see how that would go for me. It didn't go that well, but I had the pots sitting on top of my wood chips in my garden. Well, it would get moist under there, and they would be loaded with slugs underneath these pots. They'd find that area, and so that attracted them too. So that's where I'm just not going to do container gardening anymore in that way. So you were in Little Farmer Farms today, and he had a thing on these nematodes you can purchase. They could. Sweet. Okay, thanks, Patty. Oh, that's good. Okay. Yeah. Wood chips are so nice to have for mulch and all the other kind of stuff, but you've got to kind of figure out if that's something that you want, if it's going to be attracting slugs, or if if there's something else that you can use. They're really pretty and everything, but just have to kind of check that out and figure out what you're doing. Hey, Kiri, hello. All right. And then my prep tip for the night is keep your gas tanks full. If you have an extra can, 2 or 3 5-gallon can or whatever, try to keep that full at home or something. But just if you're out driving out and about and you're down 2 or 3 gallons in the car, stop and just top it off. And, it's just so that you have, enough gas to get somewhere. So, oh, that's good, Patty. Absolutely. So, oh, that's good, Glenn. Yeah. Get electric bicycle. Hey, Megan, how are you? Buying nematodes on Amazon really inexpensively. Nice. I did not know that. So, right. Never drive on the bottom half of the tank. Absolutely. I would say if you're getting down to a quarter or 3/4, if you're still have 3/4 left in the tank or 5/8 left in your tank, stop and fill it up and top it off. Because, you just never know if there's going to be a week or 10 days or whatever that you can't get any fuel, and at least you'll be able to get by on what you've got. So that's my prep tip. So I just want to thank all my moderators. Thank you guys so much. I think Graham and Karen already left, but thank you all for being here, and moderators do such a great job. Our Tiny Acres. I love the name, Connie. That's great. That is so good. Too scared to ride. Oh, I don't blame you, Kiri. Absolutely. So, yeah, it gets crazy out here too, because the road that goes right by my house, it's actually a county road too. Even though it's right in town, it's a county road. And so we get farm equipment and semis all the time coming, up and down the road. And they are, sometimes they go kind of fast. And then as soon as you get out of town, there's no shoulder. So it's like trying to ride a bike out there or walk or whatever. It's the road and then a little bit of a gravel shoulder and then the ditch. And so it's really it's not safe to ride a bike. It's not very smart to be out there, because these trucks come by, or these huge tractors with, the farm equipment that takes up, the full 2 lanes of the road and stuff like that. So anyway, hey, Howie, hello. How are you? 75. Oh, no. Oh, Patty, that's so dangerous. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. That is no good. So I think I covered everything here. Again, there's links below for the SCULLCAP, and I will add the other links about drying herbs and stuff. So what else am I doing? Again, I've just been working on the beds, and if you guys need to see a picture of it, I showed it at the beginning of the hour. You can see what I've been working on, and I have all my beds built. Just have to get the old ones removed and fit the other ones over everything. So you're welcome, Lori. You're welcome. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thanks. Well, guys, it's the top of the hour already. I'm so glad you're doing well, Howie. That is so great. So you guys will take care. God bless. Always have hope, and have a great week. Enjoy the summer that's coming. Just have beautiful, wonderful days ahead of you. Good night.